past few weeks, we've been going through some very difficult and uncertain times. Through these difficult times, the body can take on a lot of stress and anxiety, which can result in us feeling drained and fatigued. So when stressed, we find our overall health takes an incredible knock, affecting our energy levels and helping us feel tired when waking up in the morning with no energy for us to get through the day. So today we chat to clinical psychologist Dr. D on how to cope with stress and anxiety during these stressful times. Hi, Dr. D.
Hi, Palesa. Really good to speak with you. And you started off by saying we're going through unprecedented times of uncertainty, which generates all these feelings. So the first thing I want to say is to say that these feelings are expected and normal feelings to a really, really difficult and traumatic situation. If people were not feeling either stressed or anxious or a combination of both in this times, they really probably wouldn't be alive, or they wouldn't be able to feel. It goes with the territory. Now, having said that, what happens though is that you do have to learn how to manage these feelings so that they don't overwhelm you. You know what we say, that anxiety and stress are actually often positive emotions because they spur you to action. So if I had to say to you, Palesa, were you feeling a little bit stressed or anxious even before we started the show? You kind of get that little bit of anxiety before almost every challenging situation. But when it's in control, you deal with it, it mobilizes you, and it doesn't absolutely overwhelm you or stop you in your tracks. So if we are experiencing fear or the kind of stress that prevents us from functioning because it's going on too long, or because the extent of it is of such an extent that we can't cope, that's the time where you might need to seek professional help. If it's gone on for a while, but having those kind of times are actually expected. So how do we deal with them? First of all, number one, if you name it, you can tame it. So we have the idea, don't feel stressed, don't feel scared, don't feel sad. We actually are grieving. We're grieving for a world we've lost. We're grieving for jobs that we don't have anymore. We're grieving for our routine. We're grieving for the hug that we used to get. We are fearful of what might be happening to our parents. We're worried about money. So these are all kinds of times of grief and loss. And we go through periods of being sad, periods of being anger, periods of being scared. And tip number one is name it. If you name it, you can tame it. So you actually have to lean into the fear, which is counterintuitive. We always want to shove it under the carpet. Then you get, I feel ashamed that I'm feeling this. It's like a double whammy. I'm not good enough. I should be coping. Everyone seems to be coping. I'm not. Then you become judgmental on yourself. So if you say to yourself, I can name it, then you get some sort of sense of control, of taming it. I'm in the thinking part of my brain. I'm not in the primitive brain where it's going to overwhelm me. So that's the first thing. Another thing that is very important is use self-compassion. That means if you need to take a little bit of a break and take stock, give yourself permission and talk to yourself or say to yourself, I've got this. You're going to be okay. You've dealt with challenges before in the past. I am resilient, and I'm going to be kind to myself and not come down on myself, compassionate to myself. If I need to not be as productive all the time, if I need a break, I'm going to give myself permission to do that. It's a time to be able to do that. And the next important thing that helps absolutely immeasurably is to reach out and talk to people. You know, being understood and having your feelings understood and connected with, not discounted, not saying, no, don't feel like that, or don't talk like that, or you'll be fine in the morning, or it's just a stage. You don't want that kind of talk. Someone to say, yes, it is tough. We are going through a hard time. You're not sure of how long this is going to last. You are missing your mom. It is really hard. So it connecting with you on the emotional level really helps a lot, without a lot of judgment, without a lot of advice, without a lot of people telling you what to do, but finding your people who can be in the same space as you without kind of magnifying it and making it worse. And a large part in getting over this kind of stress and anxiety, besides what we need to do in terms of our routine, we're talking about health, we're talking about sleep, we're talking about exercise, and we're talking about how to eat, all of that part, which is very important. But a large part is understanding that this too shall pass, mindful optimism, and seeing a light at the end of the tunnel that isn't always the lights of an oncoming train.
Amen. Thank you so much, Dr. D, for all of those incredible words, because I think through breaking it down the way you have, you've helped us feel validated in feeling this incredible sense of stress and anxiety. But what I love the most is that underlying it all is positivity. We're all in this together and we'll all overcome it together. Thank you so much, Dr. D, in ensuring that our energy levels are up, we're keeping busy, and we're keeping positive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, good news for all our viewers. You can win one of 4 1,000 Rand pharmacy vouchers courtesy of Vita Thion. Reply to the Vita Thion competition post on the Afternoon Express Facebook page and tell us why you need Vita Thion to boost your energy levels. Competition closes on the 27th of May 2020 at midnight. And terms and conditions can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za. Activate your beast mode with Vita Thion.